hello, and welcome to today's. If you're a subscribed member of my community, then welcome back. And if you're not, consider subscribing right now so I can keep you up to date on what's going on in Washington, D.C., the U.S. economy, money, investing, and much, much more. Now, last night, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi told her Democrat colleagues that she plans to push forward with passing the $3.5 trillion stimulus package. She said she trusts moderates will know their place and fall in line with Biden's agenda. Pelosi said that President Biden fully supports her approach to siding with progressive Democrats and moving the bill forward. She had this to say: "Today, President Biden endorsed the House rule, which will allow us to consider the budget resolution, H.R. 4, and the bipartisan infrastructure bill." She said that what she is about to do in the House will get everything Democrats want into this next bill, and it will unlock the opportunity to pass a bill with only 51 votes, bypassing all Republicans that stand in her way. She said the budget resolution is the key to unlocking the 51 vote privilege of the reconciliation path for our transformative Build Back Better bill. However, Democrat Representative Josh Gottheimer accused Pelosi of withholding help from American families. He said this: "With the livelihood of hardworking American families at stake, we simply cannot afford months of unnecessary delays and risk squandering this once-in-a-century bipartisan infrastructure package. It's time to get shovels in the ground and people to work." Now, Gottheimer in the past has called for 3 stimulus checks and now for an additional stimulus check, but has received pushback. He believes the new stimulus package doesn't do much for the American people. Then House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer told Gottheimer to get himself and the other 8 moderate Democrats back to the table. But then he said he wasn't going to vote unless everyone voted for the infrastructure bill, the stimulus bill, and a voting bill that would not require identification or ID in order to vote. So he says he's not going to vote unless he gets those 3. Gottheimer says, I'm only voting for 1, and Pelosi says, I'm only voting for 2. So there's a lot of confusion right now in the House of Representatives. Pelosi told colleagues not to mess up this once-in-a-generation opportunity to get everything they want under the Build Back Better agenda. So I think this bill could be wrapping up much quicker than expected. According to Pelosi, it's all but a done deal and will include everything Democrats want. All right, now Sylvania from the community says, "Stephen, I'm going out of my mind and need help. I have several children, but did not get the July or August kids' checks." All right, now, you might not get the July or August payment, and I hate to be the messenger on that because I know you want to get this done ASAP. But if you do what I just told you ASAP, you will likely get the September 15th payment. Now, any missed payments that you don't get will be issued to you as a credit when you file your taxes or do a non-filer tax return next tax season. I hope this helped you or others. By the way, all right, now Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says that with the $3.5 trillion spending bill now in Pelosi's hands, he can focus on legalizing marijuana nationwide and canceling student debt for the masses. Schumer again sent word to President Biden to use his presidential authority to cancel debt immediately. We'll see if President Biden responds. All right, now a new report from the Cost of War Project shows the war in the Middle East and Afghanistan has cost the American taxpayers $2.26 trillion, $530 billion of which was interest, because the United States government borrowed from future generations in order to fund this war. This money will need to be paid back, and the interest payments will continue to mount against the government and the taxpayers until it is paid back. Now, as of right now, the U.S. government is projecting that there could be anywhere between 40,000 to 80,000 Americans trapped in Afghanistan. They sent out an official communique for people to shelter in place, that they can't guarantee their safe return, and they are working on a plan to get the people out. This is from the White House. Now, according to the White House, they will work with the Taliban to ensure their release and the safe return. So now they have to work with the Taliban in order to get these people out. Former President Trump said in an interview yesterday that these Americans will likely be leveraged against the United States and will be seen as hostages. All right, now 17 Republican lawmakers have written a letter to Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen to step in and stop a $450 million payment to be made to the Taliban by the IMF, or International Monetary Fund, and from U.S. taxpayers. If this payment isn't stopped, it will give nearly $500 million of cash to the Taliban with no rules on how this money can be spent. If the Taliban receives $500 million in cash next week, it would be like throwing fire on an already horrible situation. So they're asking Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, stop this payment. Don't use IMF money. Don't use U.S. taxpayer money to make a $450 million payment to the Taliban. All right, now, according to sources, the White House is in chaos with finger pointing happening between each department. Vice President Kamala Harris is refusing to make any comments on the Afghanistan situation and has not done an interview or been in public appearances in the last 6 days. According to National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan, President Biden has not spoken with leaders of any other country since the collapse on Sunday. It's not clear when President Biden will address the nation again. The Taliban has sent out a warning to the United States. They are warning the U.S. to be fully out by September 11th, or else they will change their approach to dealing with trapped citizens. Canada has publicly offered to take in as many as 20,000 displaced Afghans to help out the United States. All right, now Senator Sanders posted a video on his Twitter feed where the host of the video is talking about a one-time tax of 99% of billionaires' increased wealth in 2020. The host says that this would pay for all the woes the world is experiencing, and they would use this money to give $20,000 to every unemployed worker. Now, I'm all for billionaires being taxed. Trust me, I pay a lot in taxes. But what Bernie Sanders is endorsing would be catastrophic. Billionaires provide many of the jobs, charity donations, and housing for millions and millions of Americans. To 99% tax them and then give $20,000 to unemployed people sounds great, but it seems very extreme, at least according to my understanding of macroeconomics and how an economy works. But I'd like to hear from my community, so please let me know in the comments. Should billionaires have to pay a one-time 99% tax on their 2020 growth? And should unemployed people be given $20,000? Let me know in the comments. Also, would this do more damage in the long run than good in the short run? Again, let me know what your thoughts are. And I want to be clear about my position. I fully believe that billionaires should pay their fair share of taxes. But I'm not sure how I feel about Senator Sanders and what he was promoting on his Twitter feed. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Okay, now I want to share something very, very important. If you know a veteran or have one that's a friend or a family member, especially one that was deployed to the Middle East, please reach out to these people. Extend a conversation, show love, be in their life right now. According to reports that I'm reading, the Veterans Crisis Hotline has seen a major uptick in calls coming in about suicide. The VA system has sent out an email to 9 million people trying to communicate to them that these people are not alone and to reach out if they have a need. Now, if you watch this channel and are experiencing any suicidal thoughts, please know that you are enough and that your service means a lot to a lot of people. Do not make a permanent decision based on a temporary situation, okay? Very, very important, right? I know the military is taking these last couple of days very, very hard. So please, if you know veterans or military people, reach out to them in love. All right, now the Independent Restaurant Association in New York is filing a lawsuit against Mayor de Blasio for the mandatory lockouts at restaurants. This group says business is already suffering and that Mayor de Blasio will cripple the city. Now, this is my update for today.